Let's make sure we actually live on fucking YouTube. It just did some weird shit to me, my boy. That was some weird shit, my boy. My boy. See, it ain't even give me the picture to upload with. All that tight shit. Well, I be talking about, man. Let's see what we can do to change that. I don't know what YouTube got going. YouTube then pulled some tricky shit on me today. But we missed last Sunday on purpose. So bringing back the practical Vedanta, practical non-dualism, as we've been reading Swami Vivekananda's. What up, big homie? Been working hard for the money. Stand on motherfucking principle. And my guy, sir, impeccable. It is. What's happening, man? What's happening? What's happening? We getting back in here to this non-dualist shit. This shit that make these niggas piss and shit on themselves. I don't know why the fuck I just said that. But nonetheless, we back on this non-dualism. This cosmic P pushing. That's what we do over here. Remember, if you're just joining this channel, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. We are pushing cosmic P. What's the cosmic P? The ultimate principle. The cosmic principle. The principle that the whole universe, that the whole cosmos has to stand upon. And what is that ultimate P? It's what you, me, them, they, and he and she is all are. It's pure awareness. Pure awareness is what you are, my dear friends. Pure awareness is what you are. And it's a beautiful thing because no one can take that away from you. You see what I'm saying? No one can take that away from you. Let's see. SOP, peace and prosperity, brother Gnosis. What's happening? Wait, Rafe 636 be dropping that shit on YouTube. I'm trying to tell you, subscribe to Rafe 636. See that right there? Subscribe to my boy. Cool TGS, real P pushes coming in. Sir Impeccable said, Swami V, that's my dog. You know what I'm saying? Swami V came through and dropped some shit in the 1890s. You know what I'm saying? Swami V came through and dropped some shit in the 1890s. We got zero. Man, the gang is loading up. What's happening, y'all? The gang is loading up. What's happening, everybody? I am. Now, let me send this to my phone so I can make sure when it's time to turn the screen on to my phone so we can pull up the chapter. God damn, it won't let me copy and paste. Hold up, y'all. If it ain't gonna let me copy and paste, I need a new mouse. I think that's what that is. Time for a new mouse. But yeah, man, hope y'all week been going good, man. For those that do celebrate the 4th of July, I'm not against it. God damn it. Celebrate. Enjoy your time with your family. If your niggas like me, if your niggas like niggas is, we barbecue. And we love barbecue. Hell, I think white people barbecue too, right? God damn it, we all barbecue. You know what I'm saying? We all barbecue. So enjoy the barbecue. Enjoy your family, enjoy your people. Don't be so uptight and I don't celebrate 4th of July because 4th of July really means that the melanin ain't reverberating back down to the goddamn pineal gland and it's killing black women and children. Please, if you can, refrain from that. All right? Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, that's what we talking about. Okay, Rafe 636 said just share the session. Peace. That's love, bro. That's love, bro. Appreciate you, bro. I swear, when I look at people, it seems, Sir Impeccable says, I swear, when I look at people, it seems I no longer see bodies. I see consciousness. I don't know. I know I ain't tripping. No, motherfucker, you ain't tripping. You goddamn right you ain't tripping. You see what I'm saying? And that creates a different reality for you to walk through and live in. That creates a reality for you to not be able to take things so motherfucking personal. You see what I'm saying? things automatically become non-personal. So when you interact with people who seems not to have the same information as you, who seem to have different point of view as you, who seem to have a different emotional awareness than you, it becomes, hold up, it becomes way more easier to live through this lifestyle. I mean, live in this matrix, live in this reality. You see what I'm saying? You don't see things as separate, and that's the true. That's what they call true enlightenment. Things separate. You start seeing things as one, and that's the goal here: to see things as one. That's the true detachment. It's not, oh, that's low vibrational, I'm staying away from that. Oh, this is high vibrational, let me run towards this. The true knower, the true enlightened being does not run from one thing to run to another thing. Because he knows there's no fucking difference. Come on, man. He knows there's no difference. Wait, 636 say you know that. Oh, y'all must be talking about that the shit I said about the 4th of July. They always gotta bring up the melanin. They bring that melanin up in every goddamn thing, bro. Worshippers of melanin, goddamn it. Damn, this was supposed to be live on Facebook and Instagram too, but fuck it. But fuck it. So let's see what else we got in the comments. Hold up. We always bring up that damn melanin, boy. Coop TGS says that short you shared was great. Who was that person doing the lecture? I'd love to see the whole video. Oh, Coop TGS. Let me put Papa G. Boy, Papa G, boy. OG with this shit, this non-dual shit. He was a student. He was a devotee to Sri Ramana Maharashi. He was a devotee to him. And boy, he don't bullshit. We still might be okay. We still might be tapping in to one of his books soon. Because he's not bullshitting. Sri Ramana Rahamashi. But I put Papa G in the chat. That way you can go look it up. Papa G. And it's like me and Trav were talking like, brother, like this shit just makes sense, bro. It just like this just automatically this non-dual this shit, it just makes sense, bro. And it's like I don't know how the fuck to explain it, but because I know and I try to switch my perspective to like other people in spirituality and probably where the fuck I was. No, I was still open even when I came first into spirituality, but still probably not as open. Hearing it motherfucker tell you the mind ain't real, the mind don't exist. Only thing you can understand is if the cup is full or if the cup is empty. The mind and the cup is the same thing. All you can understand is how to get a empty mind or have a full mind. We all know full mind. So meditation sends you towards an empty mind. But and that's what you trying to get in meditation, right? An empty mind, a calm mind, a peaceful mind. Empty, right? But if I'm sitting here telling you that the mind or the cup doesn't exist, so there is no cup and there is no full or empty cup. If I'm telling you the mind don't exist, it's like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Of course, you're not going to understand because to understand anything, you have to use the mind. And if I'm telling you to step outside of the mind, you ain't going to get it. There's nothing to be understood. Nothing to be understood. Nothing to be understood, bro. Sometimes I feel like the suffering Messiah, they don't know and don't want to know. Laugh at it. They might it there before I do. Or they might be there before you do. Nah, facts. And it's crazy way how this paradoxical reality can work. They can get it tomorrow, bro. You know what I'm saying? They can get it tomorrow. And you didn't put this work in goddamn forever, however long. You know what I'm saying? But that's cool because that's really what we want. You know what I'm saying? My gnosis. I always share at the P. Facts. Yeah. Maharashi. Yeah, I'm probably still saying his name wrong, but Maharashi goes in. Like, hey man. And him and Papa G, like, you will see Papa, and that's what I'm saying. Like the type of LOL and ha ha ha, he ha ha, and we doing over here. He do the same shit. We got jokes about enlightenment because it's actually fucking funny. When you listen to Papa G, he laughing like, the nigga just laughing all the time, bro. Watch him. The nigga just laughing all the time, bro, because this shit is actually fucking funny. There's nothing to be serious about. I mean, once you point a person to the doorway of the self, you know. But even then, you can have fun. Even then, you can have fun. So, yeah, like with the shit that I've been sharing lately, you know, like especially what I put on my story today, that's what we're talking about, how the mind ultimately don't exist. And I know it can rub anybody wrong when I'm saying all these guys and all these rituals and all of that shit. Ultimately, over lifetimes, what that is doing is getting you into alignment with the self. So all these guides are all used as stepping stones, stepping tools to eventually get you to a lifetime where you grasp knowledge of self. Ultimately, that's what that shit is to do. So if you stuck, not even, let me not say stuck, but if your only focus is ritual and learning this method and learning this system and learning this system, I'm talking about detail, detail, detail. Like if you're trying to learn the maps to details, like you're trying to build your own shit, you don't have to. I'm not teaching shit new. I don't have to build shit new. All I have to do is formulate these words for people of my culture. When I say my culture, of my generation, we've all been influenced by hip hop because that's my culture. If we want to be completely straightforward, even though, you know, I could say it's trash, but that's the culture. So I need to be able to bring it in those terms so people of that culture can understand it the best way possible. Because we still talking about we beyond the mind. You see what I'm saying? The fool of the Torah isn't the enlightened guru. You say is? Oh, is in the enlightened guru. Yes. Facts. That's why this shit can be fun, bro. That's why this shit can be fun. So like I was saying, when I'm saying like a you know, all these gods and goddesses and all these rituals, even meditation. You'll hear them talk about that meditation because a non-dual meditation is something totally different. What a non-dual meditation is the same shit that we did in the Dark Veil Lifted video. The seer and the seen. Breaking down the dream and how you the same in all three. Even though in those three the mind changes, but consciousness ultimately does not change. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm trying to get through to everybody. The consciousness, your consciousness or consciousness itself, which we all are, it's one, does not change. Consciousness does not change. The mind changes, which is why you have multitudes of gods, multitudes of the age of Kali Yuga, the age of Pisces, the age of Aquarius, all of this shit. Yes, it's happening. It's relatively happening. But the real you, the ultimate cosmic principle, hold up, y'all. So the real you, the ultimate cosmic principle, which you are as consciousness, never changes. And you don't have to do anything to be it. You see what I'm saying? You have to go through systems to become a sage and a swami. You got to go through systems to become the supreme top dog occultist. You got to go through shit to become a top YouTuber. You got to go through shit. But to be this, you don't have to go through shit. All you have to remove is ignorance. That's what the non-dual path is all about. That's what we read in Jnana Yoga or Jnana Yoga. Hold up, y'all. So, had to answer that phone call, boy. Always gonna answer that phone call. But what was I? The ultimate thing here, remix 40. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Oh, I miss Cool TG. All gods are within you. If you got a problem with that, then you're probably underestimating the vastness of your own soul. Facts. Like none of these spirits, none of these guys, none of these spiritual systems, none of these religions, none of these worlds, none of these dimensions, the grass, the water, the trees, hair, women, men, divine masculine, divine, none of that has existence outside of you. And when I say you, I don't mean you as the body. I don't mean you as the mind. I don't mean you as the energy. I mean you as the consciousness, pure awareness. That is pure existence. What I'm telling you is you are pure existence. People have a problem with that. Yeah, but evil, and yeah, but if I'm sitting here telling you that you the most ultimate of the ultimates and you beyond the gods and calling yourself a god, yes, you are. Because there's nothing else to be. But even that faction of a God generation operated destroyer is a factor inside of the illusion that we call Maya. Because consciousness is pure awareness. Alejandro. Nah, I haven't. It's some wild shit free. Wild shit feel like you'll get something out of it. Okay. Okay. And peace and welcome back, base. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I don't know they exist if it didn't have. There you go. That's it right there. You wouldn't know nothing exists if you didn't have awareness. Yeah, because I told you, even in ignorance, you are aware. You are aware that you don't know. And then when you do know, you are aware that you do know. You are always in awareness. You can never get away from awareness. You're going to always be in awareness. So that's the real self. That's the real you. Not you and your emotions, not you and your childhood trauma, not you and your stresses, not you and your joyful moments, not you and your, I learned the new word called gooning. It's a word called gooning. So when I grew up, we called ourselves goons, basically a street nigga on some real young and dumb shit, right? We called ourselves goons. So I found out by these young white dudes, they told me gooning actually means a man or a woman who obsessively masturbates. So not when you, I mean, even when you gooning, you still in divine awareness. You are divine awareness. You are aware that you going hard on choking that chicken. And ladies, you aware that you going hard with that rose. Shout out to my rose though. But that's another thing. So, okay, I'm missing. Besides your peace, peace, peace. Okay, Holy Mountain straight fire. Okay, so that means I gotta check that out. I scared some people at after party with that movie. When I wanted them to leave, low key. I like the way you think, brother. I like the way you think. But yeah, like what Remix 40 said, I wouldn't know none of that exists without consciousness. So none of it exists outside of you, nor can it exist. All right. So we about to go on and get into this chapter. I don't want to hold us here too long, but it's no longer than we need to be. Let me just say that. So let's go ahead and get this shit set up. What am I looking for? Okay, I gotta pull it up on my phone, y'all. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Rough and rugged, we grew up as soldier, soldier. Tell me how you think you're gonna control us. Oh shit. Sorry, ladies and gents. warlocks and witches, occultists and spiritualists. Let's get this shit going. Okay. Let me read what Miss Forty just said. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I forgot. How have I been doing this shit? Give me a second, Remix 40. Let me fix the screen and I'm gonna read your question. Cause I don't remember. What the fuck is that? Come on, man. Go to the right setting. Maybe this one. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? It might not me. Hold up, y'all. Boom. But I don't like the way that look though. Make it solo. Nah, that still ain't big enough. What the fuck is going on, y'all? Hold up. Is that big enough on y'all screen to read? Yeah, somebody in the chat let me know if that's big enough. Still ain't it. Somebody gotta let me know how we look. Cause this shit ain't it. That look bigger. There we go. Alright. Ain't nobody in the chat let me know how bad it look or not, so don't be complaining. Hold up. So to clarify past conversations, morality exists. Morality exists outside of this philosophy / ideology. And if that's true, morality is subjective. Up personal choice. Okay. Let me see if I can really understand what you're asking. Are you saying, okay, everybody say we're good. Are you saying, let's see. So to clarify, past morality exists. You saying it doesn't exist or it does exist? So morality exists within the constraints of the mind, right? And as you know, there's 8 billion people on this planet. They say even more. So there's 8 billion different versions of morality. You see what I'm saying? Some people say it's not moral um to add interest onto a loan. You have a whole, like Muslims don't add interest onto a loan. If I give you $500, you give me $500 back. Somebody say that's not moral. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I go over here to the American society, your friends may even say, "Shit, if I give you $100, you got to give me 115 back," and it's moral over here. You see what I'm saying? Whereas I may go, not me, but somebody may go to Georgia and want to deal with a woman in over there. I think she can be like 16 or maybe 17. But you come over here to where I'm from, Tennessee, she has to be 18. And that's not moral. And still, even then, you can be 40 years old fucking with an 18-year-old. Like, that's still kind of weird, but that's based off of my perception of morality. So morality in its own right is only a fiction of the mind. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not sitting here telling you that do some fucked up shit. We know it's fucked up. We don't need to be violating other human beings, causing harm to other human beings. You see what I'm saying? So, however that plays out, that gets tricky because somebody else can say you causing harm to another human being, and the human being that you're doing it to don't see that a harm is being caused, and so people can press charges and get you locked up on some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a big trial going on. Seems to circumvent around that type of shit, but I have no ball game. I got no ball in that fight, so I'd rather not get into it. You know what I'm saying? Because it can get real sticky. But morality, that's a construct of the mind, which does not make it not real, because it's very real, right? But if you understand all is one, you wouldn't be walking around this motherfucker trying to figure out if I'm doing this person right or wrong. You'll be treating everybody just as well as you treat yourself. So, like with me, like I may talk to myself like, yeah, nigga, it's time to get on your shit. Like it's time to get this shit together. You ain't standing on principle. What's happening, bro? You bullshitting. Come on. So I talk to y'all the same way. It's still love. It's done under the pretense of love still. Some people might not want to hear me say bitch, hoe, and fuck that shit, bro. You ain't doing this shit, bro. Come on, bro, get that like that may be immoral to some people. Hopefully that answered the question. Hopefully that answered the question. So I would say focus more on, and not even saying that you probably just ask and get clarity. Okay, up to personal choice. Right, 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 right. Okay, a love long sharking. I've been thinking about morality lately. My take is this is a dream. When I wake up from a dream of consequence, where my action of consequence, where my action in the dream. Damn, cool TGS. I feel like I'm misinterpreting your statement. I've been thinking about morality lately. My take is this is a dream, right? When I wake up from a dream of consequence, where my action in the dream, where okay, okay. So like, does it follow you from the dream to this reality? Is what you're saying? Facts, and that's ultimately what we're saying here. See, when you see what we are doing here is identifying as the person in the dream as it's real and it's the own reality of what consequence. I got you, cool TGS. So what we do here is identify as this body, as this mind, as our past experiences, as our belief. That's what we doing. But enlightenment is waking up inside of the dream, having a lucid dream, knowing that it's a dream, and still continuing to go on with the dream, still do the actions inside of the dream, but knowing it's a dream. So ultimately, when you wake up, when you leave that dream body, it never mattered. But those who still believe that they still identifying with that dream body, you know what? Even if it's time for them to wake up, they're gonna force themselves to stay asleep because they scared. So which means it's gonna push them into another dream. They're gonna hop into another dream after another dream after another dream. Reincarnation. Reincarnation. Nah, I agree, Coop T. Yes, it is, bro. It's definitely a little freaky. No did it. It's definitely a little freaky though. I'm with you on that shit. Hopefully I answer your question though, remix for it. The dream loop of illusion. I like that one. The dream loop of illusion. Let's get to it, y'all. Okay. Okay. No, remix for it just said something else. I keep being met with this notion, mostly promoted by other people. Now, I bet you are. If this is a question, I bet you already answered your question, but let's see. Mostly promoted by other people that the road to hell is paved for good intentions. So it doesn't appear to matter to many people if I don't have any bad intent. Okay. Hmm. I keep being met with this notion, mostly promoted by other people, that the road to hell is paved for good intentions. Because I know that statement and I understand it. So, okay, so here's the thing. So it's like Swami was talking about with yoga, probably not, but me personally, he said not me personally, but in general. Okay, I got you. Hold up, base to Rex. I answer your question in a minute. Well, I can answer your question now. I don't even know what the hell solipism is. Is that the same thing you gave me last time that I was supposed to look up? And I wrote it down somewhere. I don't know where it's at. Um, but I remix for this. So here's the thing about that. When we doing, see the role of karma yoga is to do selfless actions. So you may see people out doing good things. Their intent is to do good things for people of less fortunate, what we may call less fortunate. But even that is an ego and selfish action. Because you, in that sense, you're doing it because of the ego needs something to latch on to, as in what? I'm a good person doing things for people who are less than me. See what I'm saying? Doing things for people who are less than me. Me personally, like I always tell y'all, when I see a so-called drug addict or a drunk at the store and they asking for something, if I got it, I got you. Not because you less than me, but because you are me. You are just as equal to me. There's no difference between that person and me. Yes, the body may be different. Yes, the mind may be different. You see what I'm saying? Yes, the name, form, and function may be different, but I see no difference in that person. So the same way I will get myself a vape, I ain't got no problem giving you some bread to get you a pack of cigarettes. Yes, that may not be healthy for the body, but I don't regard you just as a person, as a body. I don't strongly identify myself as a body. I am not the body, I'm not the mind. So what does that mean about that person? That person is not the body and not the mind. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and that's the whole thing about it. You intend to do good, but under your undertone really is a selfish motive. Like I was just talking about with Batman on my what's the name. Like, you got to think about Batman. Everything that man do is based off of goddamn trauma. To everybody, it may look good, like, oh, he's stopping crime, but look at the selfish act behind it. Look at the attachment to trauma behind it. He becomes an egotistical, self-righteous asshole. He feel like he has to fix every goddamn problem in Gotham. He hasn't let go what has happened to him and his parents, although tragic, and although very hard to come over. This ego gets real tricky. It starts to attach the shit to make you feel self-righteous, and Batman would be a good example, so we can say him because he's not a real character. So Batman will go to hell paved by good intentions, because his whole reality is based off of suffering. Everything that he does is based off of suffering. So what is hell? Suffering. So what do you do when you die? What goes along with you? Only your mind and your memory and your intellect and your ego, which is the mind in general. That's what's going with you. So what's that telling you? Where you going? That's where you're going. You're going to hell. Your version of it that you created, that you are ultimately the ruler of. And we doing that right now today. When we living and making decisions. Fear and trauma, and what else did I say? Fear and trauma, that's hell. You see what I'm saying? Sir Impeccable says, tricky, the ego is tricky, release your humanity. No face divination, peace. Zero said true. Even the villains of Gotham said they exist because of him. You see what I'm saying? So by him existing, more villains pop up. You see what I'm saying? Batman also, yeah. Cool T just say you create heaven and hell. This shit goes deep. You can create it right here and now. And this is why we own non-dualism so hard. Because you can have it right here. You don't have to live in hell. You don't have to wait to go to heaven. Because heaven is ultimately an illusion anyway. It's a construct, just like this motherfucker, just like a dream. And ultimately, and even it says in the Bible, for us Americans, heaven and hell too shall pass away. Oh damn, I missed base to Rex. What do you say? Okay, so he said solipsism. I can't even say that word. Is a belief that the self is the only thing that can be known to exist, like the brain and the jar theory. Your experience is the only thing that can be known to be real, basically. Okay, see, I had to get into that because I'm not sure what perspective they saying. It sounds like this non-dualism from Gunny Yoga or non-dual Advaita. It sounds like that, but I could be tricked. So I ain't gonna say I completely agree with it. I haven't looked into it because that's basically what they saying. They basically saying start with your own personal experience. Nobody can deny that I exist. Boom, that's it. And that I that exists is what's given is what they're talking about as pure unconditioned consciousness or reflected consciousness, which they're telling you is something even greater behind it that gives that reflection of your own personal experience. And that's what we ran through in a dark veil lifted video. That 5-6 hour video we ran through at the end to run through that exact thing right there. Who are you during waking, dreaming, and sleeping? Who are you? The seer and the seen cannot be the same. The changing and the changeless cannot be the same. To know something is changing, something has to be changeless. So, what is that changeless thing? We know our body changes. We know our thoughts change. We know our emotions change. We know the world changes. We know the grass changes. We know men change. We know women change. We know kids change. What is that that does not change? That's the real self. My Yeah, I did. My comment got deleted. He said, "Oh, you said did your comment get deleted? I didn't delete no comment, so I don't know. I probably missed it. There it is. Doesn't show up for me. Okay, I actually agree. The road to hell, as in a chaotic, detrimental reality, can be caused by good intentions. I think intentions should be considered. We all are flawed. All right. Empress Divine, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? SOP, motherfucker. All right, let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it, y'all. We ain't even started yet. We damn near hour in. Hold up. All right. So, god damn, y'all. 1 second. All right, so we're reading Young Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. This is the part of the book that I wasn't gonna continue to read. For those who join us who ain't been here in a minute, this is the next book read right here. Get a screenshot of that. Get a screenshot of that. That's the next book we reading. So y'all still got time to order this book on Amazon. It's literally $5. Fucking $5. If y'all don't have this by the time we trying to read, what the fuck are you even doing, bro? Like, what the fuck are you even doing, bro? Fucking $5, bro. Fuck the PDF, bro. Spend $5, bro. And sis. All right. All right, let's get to it. Practical Vedanta Part 2. I will relate to you a very ancient story from the Shandago Upanishad, which tells how knowledge came to a boy. Please pay attention because this is a fire story about death. The story itself is cruel, but we shall find that it contains a principle. Cosmic motherfucking P. All right. A young boy said to his mother, I'm going to study the Vedas. Tell me the name of my father in my caste. Remember, they have caste systems over there. You're a brahmachari, you a householder, or you a student, you a business owner, you a whatever the fuck. They caste systems. Everybody know what the fuck a caste system. My bad. The mother was not a married woman. And in India, the child of a woman who has not been married is considered an outcast, a bastard. He is not recognized by society and is not entitled to study the Vedas. Just off of that. Imagine if that shit was over here in America, man. I'm a bastard. By original, what's her name? My mom and dad wasn't married by those standards. Because I think marriage starts once you start the relationship, and really about time you have any type of ritual like sex or something like that. So, hey, but imagine if that shit existed over here in America. Yeah, you can't even get no spiritual knowledge if your mom and dad ain't married. Fuck, nigga. Think about that. And motherfuckers hate America. Okay. Yeah, it got some ugly shit here, but god damn it, some beneficial shit over here. All right. So the mother was not married, and in India, the child of the woman who has not been married is considered an outcast. He is not recognized by society and is not entitled to study the Vedas. So the poor mother said, my child, I do not know your family name. I used to serve different people. You were born when I was in service. I do not know who your father is, but my name is Jabala, and your name is Satyakama. Satyakama. The boy went to a sage and asked to be taken as a student. The sage asked him, what is the name of your father and what is your caste? The boy repeated to him what he had heard from his mother. The sage at once said, none but a Brahmin could speak such a damaging truth about himself. Listen, none but a Brahmin could speak nothing but a damning truth about himself. You are a Brahmin, and I will teach you. You have not swerved from the truth. You have not swerved from the truth. So he kept the boy and with him, so he kept the boy with him and educated him. Oh, he finna talk some shit in this one, y'all. Just chill. Now we come to the particular or peculiar methods of education in ancient India. The teacher gave Satyakama 400 lean. Damn, what is lean? Probably some money, right? Because it ain't the lean we think. Weak cow. Oh, 400 lean cows, I guess. Weak cows to take care of, and sent him to the. There he went and lived for some time. Listen, check this out. The teacher had told him, come back when the herd increased to 1,000. So the teacher first lesson to him was what? A challenge to see can he bear these conditions. Did he deserve the knowledge? Will he do anything for the knowledge? Take these cows, nigga. Go to the forest with these 400 cows and don't come back till they turn into 1,000. After a few years, one day, Satkama heard a big bull in the herd saying to him, we are 1,000 now. We are 1,000 now. Take us back to your teacher. I will teach you a little of Brahman. Go on, sir, said Satkama. Then the bull said, the east is a part of the Lord. So is the west. So is the south. So is the north. The fourth cardinal points are the 4 parts of Brahman. Fire will also teach you something of Brahman. In those days, fire was worshipped as a special symbol of Brahman, and every student had to light the sacrificial fire and make his offerings. See how I'm saying? See how the shit changing over years and decades? Those same rituals, motherfuckers trying to redo now in 20 fucking 25. The age has changed, man. The age has changed. And that's what I think right now is happening. Let me remember where I'm at. That's what I think is happening. I feel like all this shit is pushing more towards the non-dual shit, the oneness where everybody should be, everybody be getting focused back into this ultimate goal of the knowledge of self. When I say everybody, I don't think that really means everybody, but I think this is the perfect age for it. During those times, you may have to go through all those rituals. During those times, you may have to have gone to the forest. That's not the times nowadays. There's so much going on that it's so-called chaotic, not in the occult sense of chaos, but in the normal concept of chaos. It's so chaotic, so much shit is going on. You're getting pushed everywhere till you finally just have to push and sit with your goddamn self. It's so chaotic that you're gonna have to sit with the lowercase self, the name, body, form, and function in the mind, and then ultimately find out, who am I? Who am ultimate knowledge? What is this pointing towards? Oneness. Why do you think they've been pushing singularity? Whether they was doing this on purpose or not makes no difference. What makes the difference is that it's in alignment with what's supposed to be happening inside of this movie, inside of this dream, inside of this play. Times change. Update your goddamn systems. I don't believe you have to do all these goddamn rituals. I think you should do rituals if you feel you should do rituals. What I say, you don't have to, because that ultimately can become an attachment. All right, we'll get to it. In those days, the fire was worshiping the special symbol of Brahman, and every student had to light the sacrificial fire and make offerings. So, in the following days, Satyakama started for his guru's house, and when in the evening he had offered his oblation and worshiped the fire and was sitting near it, he heard a voice come from the fire. "O Satyakama, speak, Lord," said Satyakama. Perhaps you remember a very similar story in the Old Testament, how Samuel heard a mysterious voice. The fire said, "O Satyakama, I will teach you a little of Brahman. This earth is a portion of that Brahman. The sky and heaven are portions of it. The ocean is a part of that Brahman." Then the fire said that a certain bird will also teach him something. You see how he's going through these different elements, and each element is teaching him a little bit of a piece, because each element is a little bit of a piece of the ultimate, my nigga. The ultimate, my nigga. Come on. Pay attention to what's happening here. It's leading somewhere. Satyakama continued his journey, and on the next day, when he had performed his evening sacrifice, a swan came to him and said, I will teach you something about Brahman. This fire which you worship, O Satyakama, is a part of that Brahman. The sun is a part. The moon is a part. Lightning is a part of that Brahman. A bird called Madhu will tell you more about it. The next evening, that bird came, and a similar voice was heard by Satyakama. I will tell you something about Brahman. Breath is a part of that Brahman. Sight is a part. Hearing is a part. The mind is a part. Then the boy arrived at his teacher's place and presented himself before him with due reverence. Do you see how, like, the guru ain't even teach him shit? You see what I'm saying? The guru ain't even really teach him shit on that on that objective level, on a relative level. He set him out on his own, and he's getting the information on his own. The guru ain't do shit but point him in the direction to go. Take these cows, my boy. Don't come back into this 1,000 cow, my boy. Don't come back to this 1,000 cow, my boy. And he's see how he's getting the knowledge just from outside. All right. The boy arrived at his teacher's place and presented himself before him with due reverence. No sooner had the teacher seen him than he said, Satkama, your face shines like the face of a knower of Brahman. You see how my face shining, nigga? All right. Your face shines like the knower of Brahman. Who then has taught you? Creatures other than men? Creatures other than men, replied Satkama. But I wish that you should teach me, sir, for I have heard from men like you that knowledge learned from a guru alone leads to the supreme good. Then the sage taught him the same knowledge that he had received from the others. Is y'all picking up what's being put down? He getting the same shit from his guru that he had already received from nature. And nothing was left out. Yeah, nothing was left out. Now, apart from the allegories in what the bull, the fire, and the birds taught, we see the tendency of the thought and the direction in which it was going in those days. The great idea of which we here see the germ. Hold up. The great idea of which we here see the germ is that all these voices are inside ourselves. As we understand these truths better, we find that the voice is in our own heart. The student understood that all the time he was hearing the truth, but his explanation was not correct. Here's the thing right here. This is why when I say tapping into certain books, I know a lot of people don't like to read. It's all in me, all divine knowledge and wisdom is in me. Cool. Who's your teacher? Because the teacher has to be that one who has been realized to point you into the direction to help you get a better understanding of what you've been experiencing. And what they would call that back then, when you go sit with the guru, was called a satsang. Satsang. Where the guru would sit there and tell you who you are. Knowledge of self. All right. The teacher will point you into the guru will point you into the direction. The student understood that all the time he was hearing the truth, but his explanation was not correct. He was interpreting the voice as coming from the external world, while the whole time it was within him. The second idea that we got is that the making the knowledge of Brahman practical. Making the knowledge of Brahman practical. The world is always seeking the practical possibilities of religion. And we find in these stories how it has become more and more practical every day. The truth was shown through everything with which the students were familiar. The fire they were worshiping was Brahman. The earth was a part of Brahman, and so on. The next story refers to the Upakalasa Kalamananya, a disciple of Satkamya, who wanted to be taught by him and dwelt with him for some time. Now, Satkamya went away on a journey, and the student became very downhearted. And when the teacher's wife came and asked him why he was not eating, the boy said, I'm too unhappy to eat. Then a voice came from the fire he was worshiping and said, life is Brahman. Brahman is Akasha. All right? Brahman is ether. Brahman is Akasha. Brahman is happiness. No Brahman. I know, sir, the boy replied, that life is Brahman. But that it is Akasha and happiness, I do not know. Then the voice explained that the two words Akasha and happiness signified one thing in reality. That is pure intelligence. Why am I not highlighting shit? Which resides in the heart. Then the voice explained that the two words Akasha and happiness signify one thing in reality. That is pure intelligence, which resides in the heart. Well, listen, man, when they saying in the heart, they don't mean the literal heart, neither. I need like people to understand that the best you can. They don't literally mean the heart, but that signifying something, which we'll get to. So I taught him. So it taught him that Brahman is life and the Akasha is in the heart. The next, the fire taught this earth, food, fire, and sun which you worship are forms of Brahman. The person who is seen in the sun, I am he. He who knows this and meditates on him, all his sins vanish. He has long life and becomes happy. He who lives in the cardinal points, the moon, the stars, and the water, I am he. He who lives in life, he who lives in this life, the Akasha, the heavens, and lightning, I am he. Here too, we see the same idea of practical religions. The things which they were worshiping, such as fire, the sun, the moon, and so forth, and with which they were familiar from the subject of the stories, which explain them and give them a higher meaning. And this is the real practical side of Vedanta. It does not destroy the world, but it explains it. It does not destroy the person, but it explains it. It does not destroy the individuality, but it explains it by showing the real individuality. Is y'all listening? I ain't saying shit in the comments. God damn. I ain't saying shit in the comments. God damn, buddy. It does not destroy the world. It explains it. It's not here to tell you that the world is fucking evil, that the matrix is fucking evil. Escape the matrix. Run from the matrix. It's not telling you that. Okay, base. Okay. It's not telling you that. All this new age shit is telling you that the matrix, the matrix, the matrix, the matrix, the matrix, the matrix, the matrix. You inciting fear. You inciting trauma. You doing it to yourself, buddy. It does not destroy the world, but it explains it. Does not destroy the person, but it explains him. It does not destroy the individuality, but explains it by showing the real individuality. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm saying to identify with the true self, that does not mean let go of all your responsibilities, let go of your job, let go of owning a business, let go of eating the food you eat, let go of having sex. I'm not saying that. That's tradition. And I see why they have that in the tradition. But nonetheless, I'm not telling you to leave all that alone. I'm telling you to stop identifying as that, because you was something more than that. Continue to do that. Continue to keep the movie playing. Continue to keep the dream going and play your part. But do not identify as that. Know that you are beyond that. I'm not telling you to well, I may be saying destroy the mind, but not in that sense. Detach from the mind, because everything that you know and think you are is in the mind, is a construct of the mind. You have to move beyond that and know that you are beyond that. You are the observer of the mind, and instinctively, intuitively, you already know that. You just need it explained. Hold up. We just need our reality explained to us. That's why I say ain't none of this spiritual shit, nothing new. It just needs to be explained in a different tone, in a different matter for the times. Nobody is teaching you nothing new, bro. It does not show that this world is in vain. It does not show that this world is in vain and does not exist. But it says, understand that this world is, so it may not hurt you. Understand what this word is, so it may not hurt you. That's all they pushing over here. That's all they pushing over here. Understand that what this word is, so it will not hurt you, so you will not suffer. Facts. Zero said it's not a fight, it's understanding. Come on now. The voice did not say to Satyakama that the fire which he was worshiping, or the sun, or the moon, or the lightning, or anything else was all wrong. But it showed him that the same spirit which was inside the sun and moon and lightning and fire and earth was in him, so that everything became transformed, as it were, in the eyes of Satyakama. So when you become enlightened, it doesn't just dissolve, bro. It's still the same shit. It's still the same shit. But you still see it from a different perspective. When I say see, I don't just mean with your eyes. I guess that'll be see things with your third eye type shit. I guess that'll work. You can use that. But as you'll notice, these non-dualists, they don't talk shit about chakras. I wonder why. They don't never say shit about chakras and none of that. They don't say nothing about your chakras, bro. And it's a reason. But that's another story. Okay. So that everything became transformed, as it were, in the eyes of Satyakama. The fire, which before had been merely a material fire in which to make oblations, assumed a new aspect and became God. The fire became God. The earth became transformed. Life became transformed. The sun, the moon, the stars, lightning, and everything became transformed and deified. Niggas, everything is divine. There's nothing to run away from here. There are no enemies. There are no obstacles that's apprehending you. Only the opportunity for you to prosper over motherfucking pain. Their real nature was known. The theme of Vedanta is to see the Lord in everything, to see things in their real nature, not as they appear to be, not as the illusion that it is, not just keep calling this shit Maya. Obviously that's the title, but not just to keep calling this shit the Matrix, the Matrix, the Matrix, the Matrix. It ain't real, it ain't real, it ain't real. No, nigga, it is real. And it's not real at the same damn time. Because the way that you see and determine real is not what real is. What we determine as real is that which never changes. That's pure unconditioned consciousness. So at the same time, this pen is not pure unconditioned consciousness, but it is because it exists within pure unconditioned consciousness as a projection from pure unconditioned consciousness. Paradox. Just like if you go to sleep in the dream, everything inside of that dream, the people, the grass, the cars, the water bottle, the gun, everything is you. You literally created that with your mind inside the dream. So every person in there, the man, the woman, the boy, the grass, the dog, is literally you. Same thing here. Same thing with this reality here. Tell me how, if you get a real understanding of this, how could life be so treacherous to you? If you get the real understanding of it, you have to sit with it and see it to be true. Use your discernment. How could life be so stressful and so goddamn depressing? All right. The real nature was known. The theme of the Vedanta is that okay, we read that. Let's read it again. The real nature was known. The theme of Vedanta is to see the Lord in everything, to see things in their real nature, not as they appear to be. Then another lesson is taught by the Upanishads. He who shines through the eyes is Brahman. He is the beautiful one. He is the shining one. He shines in all these worlds. A certain particular light. A commentator says, which radiates from the eyes of the pure man, is what is meant by the light in the eyes. And it is said, when a man is pure, such a light will shine in his eyes. Such a light will shine in his eyes. And that light belongs really to the soul within, which is everywhere. It is the same light that shines in the planets, in the stars, in the sun. I will now read to you some other doctrines of these ancient Upanishads about birth and death and so on. So he about to get into some shit. Let's read the comments. Zero says, let's read it, put it up on the screen. What Zero say? Zero, my Mexican Negro hero. All this is about the ultimate shift. As the proverb said, before enlightenment, chop the wood, carry the water. And after enlightenment, chop the wood and carry the motherfucking water. The show goes on, nigga. The body and the mind still carries out its karma. Do it. Do it. But with a shift in reality. But the suffering and the hold up, he finished. But the suffering and the attachments disappear as the way the mind look at it. All right, now. See, I don't even know that proverb. Y'all put me up on some shit. Base Tarek says there is no spoon. Ultimately, there is no spoon. The Matrix had some gems in it, man. Let's make hell, man. Trav made it for me, goddamn it. He already did. That shit got to keep going. That's facts though. Real shit. No obstacles will apprehend you. And there are no motherfucking enemies. Which is basically the same statement. Let's make there are no enemies the watchword for occultism in the 21st motherfucking century. Come on now. If you really ground the principle, you play the game as what it is, a perceptional game. Facts. All right. Base Tarek said, all right, I'm a dip. Appreciate the stream. Keep on doing your thing, man. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Non-dualism game. Facts. Cosmic motherfucking puzzle piece. On the run, but tapped in. All right. Let's continue then, y'all. Let's continue. You dig? He already told you to read some other documents. Now, this the one about death. My bad. Sway 2K2. All right. I will now read some other doctrines of these ancient Upanishads about death and so on. This man, make sure y'all stay and listen to this shit. All right. That's why I fuck with the Upanishads. Real shit. Let's see. Perhaps they will interest you. Sweta Ketu went to the king of the Panchalas, and the king asked him, do you know where people go when they die? Do you know how they come back? Do you know why the earth is neither full nor empty? The boy replied that he did not know. Then he went to his father and asked him the same questions. The father said, I do not know. And they both returned to the king. The king said that this knowledge was never known to the priests. It was known only to the kings. And that's why kings rule the world. They both served the king for some time. And at last the king said he would teach them. The other world, Ogutama, is the fire. The sun is its fuel. The rays are the smoke. The day is the flame. The moon is the embers. And the stars are the sparks. In the fire, the gods pour the libation of faith. And from the libation, King Soma was born. So on he goes. The gist of this teaching is this: you need not make obligation in that little fire. The world is the fire. He's telling you about rituals. This is a ritual he's talking about. The gist of the teaching is you need not make obligation in that little fire. The whole world is the fire. And this oblation, this worship is continually going on. Everything should be a ritual. Everything is a ritual. Matter of fact, you are the fucking ritual. My nigga, you the ritual. You hear me? You the motherfucking ritual. You don't need all these tools. Huh? You don't need all these goddamn tools. It's a time that's a thing of the past. You motherfuckers trying to use beepers and we got goddamn FaceTime. Motherfuckers using payphones. Shit, man. The gods and the angels and everybody are worshiping it. Man is the greatest symbol of fire, the body of man. Here also we have the idea of becoming practical. Brahman is seen in everything. The principle that underlines all these stories is that invented symbolism may be good and helpful, but symbols, man, come on, man. Okay, let's see what he say. The principle that underlines all of these stories is that the invented symbolism may be good and helpful. Now that's why I don't shit on symbols. Obviously not, nigga. I got them around. So some people took what I said on my story as I'm saying, like, man, listen here, man. Here you go, right here. The invented symbolism may be good and helpful, but symbols are better than any. But symbols better than any we can invent already exists. You may invent an image through which to worship God, but a better image already exists. The living man. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, y'all. The living man. The living man. The living man is a better symbol to be worshipped. Is that what he said? I think that's what the fuck he said. You may build a temple in which to worship God, and that may be good, but a better one, a much higher one, already exists. The human body. The human body. You remember that the Vedas have two parts, the ceremonial and the philosophical, right? And that's what Vedanta deals with. The philosophical half. The first half is the ceremony and the ritual aspect. And that in the Mandukya Upanishad is what they call lower knowledge. So rituals and all of that shit is lower knowledge. The higher knowledge is what we talking about now. All right. In time, ceremonies had multiplied and become so intricate that it was almost hopeless to disentangle them. And so, in the Upanishads, the ceremonies are almost discarded. Do you hear that? They're almost discarded, but gently, by having their deeper meaning explained. We see that in olden times, people had these obligations and sacrifices. Then the philosophers came, and instead of snatching away the symbols from the hands of the ignorant, instead of taking the negative position, which we unfortunately find so general among modern reformers, they gave them something in their place. Here is the symbolism of fire, they said. Very good. But here's another symbol of fire, the earth, where sacrifice is going on day and night. What a grand symbol. Here is the little temple, but the whole universe is a temple. A man couldn't worship anywhere. There are altars made by men. But here is the greatest of altars, the living, conscious human body. And worship at this altar is a far higher than the worship of any dead symbols. He's talking about his own Hindu shit. That's why I told you. These Advaita and Vedanta, they don't have a symbol for Brahman. Ain't no symbol for Brahman. And ain't nobody came up with one. What symbol can you have for consciousness? A C? Put a big C, and niggas think you crippin'. These dead symbols. In a certain sense, I wouldn't say that they completely dead, right? But he's making a point. We now come to a peculiar doctrine. I do not understand much of it myself. I shall describe it to you and see if you can make something out of it. When a man who has by meditation purified himself and got knowledge dies, he first goes to light. And then from light, let's see. I don't know this story. And then from light to day, from day to bright half of the moon, from there to the 6 months when the sun goes to the north, from there to the year, from the year to the from the year to the sun to the moon, from the moon to the lightning. And when he comes to the sphere of lightning, he meets a person who is not human. And that person leads him to the conditioned Brahman, not unconditioned, but the conditioned Brahman. Eat this conditioned Brahman. Let me underline that. I hate this pen. Where's a better pen? Shit. Fuck it. This is the way of the gods. When sages and wise persons die, they go that way and they do not return. What is meant by this month and year and all the so they go and they don't return, right? No reincarnation. What is meant by this month and year and all of these things? No one understands clearly. Each one gives his own meaning, and some say it's all nonsense. What is meant by going to the world of the moon and of the sun, and by this person who comes to help the soul after it has reached the sphere of lightning, no one knows. There is an idea amongst Hindus that the moon is a place where life exists, and we shall see how life has come from there. When those who have not attained the knowledge but have done good work in this life die, they first go through smoke, then to night, then to the dark half of the moon, then to the 6 months when the sun goes to the south, and from there to the region of their forefathers, then to the Akasha. So, forefathers, ancestors, right? And then to the Akasha, then to the region of the moon, and there become the food of the gods, and later are born as gods and live there so long as their good works permit. This is called the way of the fathers. And when the effect of the good works is finished, they come back to earth by the same route, going up to heavens and becoming a god. When your good karma, when your credit score, when your credits on your when your spiritual bank balance has ran dry, get your ass back down to the earth, my boy. Get your ass back down to the earth, my boy. Yeah, yeah. Hey, don't I be with J Money serving everybody? Don't I be with the God serving everybody? All right. When those who have not attained knowledge, okay, we already read that. And when the effect of the good works is finished, they come back to earth by the same route. The first become Akasha. They first become Akasha, and then air, then smoke, then the mist, then the cloud, and then they fall upon the earth as raindrops. Then they get into food, which is eaten by human beings, and finally become their children. Those whose works have been very good are born in good families, and those whose works have been bad are born in bad families, and even in animal bodies. Again, those who do not travel either by the way of the gods or by the way of the fathers, those who have done vile deeds become insects, being born and dying almost instantly. That is why the earth is neither full nor empty. We can get several ideas from this also, and later on, perhaps we shall be able to understand it better and speculate a little upon what it means. The last part, which deals with how those who have been in heaven return, is clearer perhaps than the first part. But the whole idea seems to be that there is no true immortality without realizing God. Some people who have not realized God but have done good work in this world with a view of enjoying the results go when they die through this and that place until they reach heaven. And they are born in the same way as they are here, as children of the gods. And they live there so long as their good works permit. Out of this thing, hold up. Out of this comes one basic idea of Vedanta, namely that everything which has name and form is transient. Everything that has name and form is transient. Everything that has name and form is transient. What does that mean? It's not real. Ultimately, right? It ultimately has to disintegrate. It ultimately has to break down and become something else. This earth is transient because it has name and form. And so the heavens must be transient because they also have name and form. Remain. They are also name and form. Remain. Let's highlight all of that. A heaven which was eternal would be a contradiction in terms because everything that has a name and form must begin in time, exist in time, and end in time. Think about that, y'all. Sit with that. We finna read that one more time. Sit with that. A heaven which was eternal has to have a heaven which was eternal would be a contradiction in terms because everything that has a name and form must begin in time, exist in time, and end in time. Everything that has a name and form and function has to exist within time. It has to, by the very terminology that it has. Because what are we saying with these words? These words ultimately can't describe what the fuck things really are. Remember, we went through the whole thing about silence, and that's why they keep, when they talk about Brahman, they say he who says he knows Brahman does not know Brahman, and he who does not know Brahman knows Brahman. These paradoxes of things that we keep trying, we giving it the name consciousness, but ultimately that's not what it is. You can't say you know it. But motherfuckers got a very descriptive version of heaven. It, if it has a name and a form, it has to ultimately deplete itself. And that's why we keep telling, and why I keep saying, you are not this name in this form. You are not this name as James. You're not this name as Sarah. You're not this body as a black man, as a white man, as an Indian, as a Moor, as an Egyptian. You're not that. You are the formless, which is aware of that, where all of that takes place within, which ultimately is a projection from the real, unchanging reality. See how it's real and fake at the same time? Coop TGS said, I've heard originally that they never had a symbol for the god Set, probably for the same reason. Well, a symbol, I know they got a picture of Set, and they will use that staff also for a symbol of Set. Let's see. Man, never mind. I have to go through that shit. But yeah, I believe they do got one. Cool TGS. I believe they do got a symbol for Set. Hell, they even had a symbol for the formless. Noon or Nu for chaos, which is what we talking about. Brahman and chaos is the same thing. They had a symbol, and they just used the symbol of a blue man with waves as water. Oh, you saying originally? Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. So that would take us back to the pre-dynastic area. See, the pre-dynastic didn't do all that symbolism shit. That was later on down the line. They didn't create all them damn temples. That was the dynastic area, which lets you know that man, human beings, aka Kemetic or Egyptian people, were in their ego. And I don't mean like, but I do mean that too. God damn. I got the arrow on that shit. Hit me. Hold up, y'all. Sunshine chick, what's happening? So that's what we saying. Beyond the symbolism, right? Beyond the motherfucking symbolism. So let's read that again. And heaven, which was eternal, would be a contradiction in turn, because everything that has name and form must begin in time, exist in time, and end in time. Because what you gonna call it if time don't exist? What's the name for heaven then? That's why I say these words are ultimately an illusion, and we get fucked up with these words, bro. People will literally have a disagreement and an argument about words, and they actually talking about the same goddamn thing. Talking about the same goddamn thing, but y'all having battles over words. One says Allah, one says Yah or Yahweh, one says Jah, one says Muhammad, one says Jesus, one says whatever the fuck the rest of these. One says is goddamn Krishna, one says goddamn Shiva. And everybody talking about the same goddamn thing, but everybody want to fight and kill each other over it. These words, bro, these words. These are settled doctrines of Vedanta, and therefore the heavens are given up. Do you hear what he said? The non-dualists give up on the heaven. They're not trying to attain no heaven. What's the fucking point? I get it. What's the point? Go to heaven for what? Go to heaven for what? It's just another illusion. Go to the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension for what? It's another illusion. Not saying that you can't, if that's what you desire, that's where the fuck you gonna go. But it's just another level of the illusionary or the dream world. These heavens are just different levels of the astral plane. We in the cultists, we know that the astral plane, right? There's different levels to the astral plane. And we know the astral plane is what? Ultimately an illusion, nigga. We have seen that in the Samhitas, the idea of the idea of heaven was that it was eternal. Much the same idea as the prevalent among Mohammedans, right? There we go. And Christians. The Mohammedans criticize it a little more. They say that it is a place where there are gardens beneath which rivers run. In the deserts of Arabia, water is very desirable. So the Mohammedans always conceives his heaven as containing much water. I was born in a country where there are 6 months of rain every year. I should think I should think of heaven, I suppose, as a dry place, and also would it's also with the English people. These you see, he's talking about how the cultures set up what heavens are like, right? Sovereign Cyber Project, peace, peace. Appreciate you for joining us. And what he's saying here, he's showing you how cultures create their own heavens. The Yoruba people have their version of heaven. The Kemetic people had their version of heaven. The Hindu people have their version of heaven. The Mohammedans or the Muslims have their version of heaven. Right? The Christians have their version of heaven. All other tribes have their own version of heaven based off tradition and mental impressions passed down from ancestors and traditions and superstitions, illusions. These heavens and the Shmitas are eternal, and the departed have beautiful bodies and live with their forefathers and are happy ever afterwards. There they meet with their parents, children, and other relatives and lead very much the same sort of life as here, only much happier. That don't even sound bad, do it? I'm not against it. It don't sound bad at all. All of the difficulties and obstructions to happiness is in this is hold up. All the difficulties and obstructions to happiness in this life have vanished, and only its good part and enjoyments are remained. That's all people want. That's all people really want. People don't. That's why I say people don't really want enlightenment. They want shit like this. I want to be able to be with my dead friend, and I'm not mad. I'm not knocking it. I swear to God, I'm not knocking it, bro. I'm not knocking it. Not one bit am I knocking it. It's really, it's respectable. All they're saying is that ultimately that heaven will pass as well. It don't last forever. It's not eternal. But however comfortable mankind may consider this state of things, truth is one thing and comfort is another. Truth is one thing and comfort is another. There are cases where truth is not comfort. It's not comfortable. When you hear the truth, you should be uncomfortable, right? There are cases where truth is not comfortable until we reach its climax. Human nature is very conservative. It does something, and having once done that, finds it hard to get out of it. Stop thinking like a fucking human. It's hard to get out of it. The mind will not receive new thoughts because they bring discomfort. The Upanishads, we see that a tremendous departure is made. It is declared that these heavens in which men live with their ancestors after death cannot be permanent, seeing that everything which has name and form must die. If there are heavens with form, these heavens must vanish in the course of time. They may last millions of years, but there will come a time when they must go. With this idea comes another's. What comes another? That these souls must come back to earth. That heavens are places where they enjoy the results of their good works. And after these results are exhausted, they must come back to this earth, to this life again. Hold up, y'all. Let's see. Let's read some comments. Let's remember where I was at. All right. Hey, Coop TGS said, he said, when the missionaries told the Eskimos about hell, they said it sounds like heaven because it's warm. You see the dynamic there, bro? I think Vedanta is distinctively different from the linear eschatologies or eschatology of the Abrahamic, yeah, the Abrahamic faiths. If you look into Kabbalah, Thelma, and even Scientology, these are more like Dvaita, Dvaita with. Oh, I think you came last time with the apothesis. I think you came last time. You was telling me about that. Yep, yep. People want to be super self. It can't be pious, but not liberated. Facts, facts. It can be pious, but not liberated. Pravati Marga is the path of becoming. The path of becoming. Niviti Marja is about unbecoming, yoga and jnana. It's all about. That's why I did in the dark veil lifted. It's all about nati nati, uncovering the sheaths, uncovering all this shit that we think we are. Ultimately, we are all of this shit. But the first step in Vedanta is to show you what you are not. That's the first step. So it takes all that shit away and say you are what you are is not this body, not the mind, not this, not this. You're not none of that. And then it gets you up to the top and like boom, guess what? You are all of that. And you are none of that at the same goddamn time. Talk to me. Talk to me nice. Ex blackly. All right. Let's go. One thing is clear from this that mankind had a perception of the philosophy of causation, even at the early time. Later on, we shall see how our philosophers bring this out in the language of philosophy and logic. But there, but here it is, almost in the language of children. You may remark one thing in reading these books that it is all internal perception. If you ask me if all this can be practical, my answer is it was practical first and philosophical next. You can see that these things first were perceived and realized, and then written down. The earth spoke to the early thinkers. This earth spoke to the early thinkers. Birds spoke to them. Animals spoke to them. The sun and moon spoke to them. And little by little, they understood things and got into the heart of nature. Ain't that everything that the Egyptians did? All right. Not by cognition, not by the force of logic, not by picking the brains of others and writing a big book, as is the fashion in modern times, not even as I do. By taking up one of their writings and making a long lecture, but by patient investigation and discovery, they found out the truth. Their essential method was practice, and so it must be always. Their essential method was practice, and so it must be always. Religion is ever a practical science, and there never was or will be any theoretical religion. It is a practice first and knowledge afterwards. The idea that souls come back and is already here. My bad. Hold up. The idea that souls come back and is already there. Those persons who do good with the idea of a results get the result, but it is not permanent. There we have the idea of causation very beautifully put forward. The effect of the effect is only commensurate with the cause. As the cause is, so the effect will be. The cause being finite, the effect must be finite. If the cause is eternal, the effect will be eternal. But all these causes, doing good work and all other things, are only finite causes. And as such, cannot produce an infinite result. It cannot produce an infinite result. We now come to the other side of the question. Just as there cannot be an eternal heaven, so on the same grounds, there cannot be an eternal hell. Suppose I'm a very wicked man doing evil every minute of my life. Still, my whole life here compared with my eternal life is nothing. If there were an eternal punishment, it will mean that there was an infinite effect produced by a finite cause, which cannot be. If I do good all my life, I cannot have an eternal heaven. It would be making the same mistake. We have already spoken of the way of the gods and the way of the fathers, but there is a third course which applies to those who have known the truth, to those who have realized it. Sound like we're finna get into some middle path shit. Let me blow my nose. Hold up. All right, let's get to it. All right. It cannot be an eternal heaven. It would be making the same mistakes. So we have already spoken of the way of the gods and the way of the fathers. But there is a third course, which applies to those who have known the truth, to those who have realized it. This is the way to get beyond the veil of Maya. That's what I was talking about on my story today. We talking about going beyond reincarnation, beyond karma, beyond cause and effect, man. This is the only way to get beyond Maya, to realize the truth. You say to know, to realize the truth. It's a realization. We talking about self-realization. Know thyself. And the Upanishads indicate what is meant by realizing the truth. It means realizing neither, listen, it means realizing neither good nor bad, but knowing that all comes from the self and that the self is in everything. It means denying the universe, shutting your eyes to it, seeing the Lord in hell as well as in heaven, seeing the Lord in death as well as in life. This is the line of thought in the passage I have read to you. The earth is a symbol of the Lord, the sky is the Lord, everything is Brahman. And this is to be seen, realized, not simply talked or thought about. I don't see no comments. Okay. Okay, see, so that made some people drop out. It's cool. We see as it we see as its logical consequence that when the soul has realized that everything is full of the Lord of Brahman, it would not care whether it goes to heaven or hell or anywhere else. Man, hold up, bro. Hold up, bro. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something I have been telling people for a while. I don't think I said it on here. Whether it is born again on this earth or in heaven. Check this out. I said this a while back and I said it to people, and I don't know, the realization just hit me at the beginning of 2024. I don't know where the fuck it came from, but it came to me. And I'm like, bro, you know what? Like, I don't even give a fuck about reincarnation no more. I don't give a fuck about reincarnating no more. And I don't give a fuck about my past lives. What good does that do me to know about my past life? For one, motherfucker got to deal with what the fuck he did doing in this life. So what the fuck does it really benefit to me to know about my past life? And I be telling folks like, bro, I don't give a fuck about reincarnating no more. Like I couldn't explain it. And I think this just explained it right here. I couldn't explain it, but I just know that I don't give a fuck about that shit no more. I have no fear of reincarnating while people keep talking about, I'm not coming back here. I'm not coming back here. I ain't coming back here. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And I know where we all get it from. You know what I'm saying? I got it from the same motherfucker. Because we seen that how this place could be so devilish and evil and so much suffering. But one morning I just woke up and I just literally didn't give a fuck. I had not read a book that told, I didn't read no book that told me don't give a fuck. It's just an intuitive thing that came to me that I don't give a fuck about reincarnating no more. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. I don't give a fuck. But now I know why. Now I'm gonna say this explain why, but I'm gonna say this explain why. But if y'all been following me with this whole non-dual thing, you understand why. Because to go there or here or hell or heaven or there or this and that, incarnate as an ant, it don't matter. It's still Brahman. It's still the self. You're not escaping nothing. You're not going to nothing. You're not on a path to nothing. It's just isness. You just are. I know that's hard to conceive because I'm telling you, it's beyond the mind to conceive it. You just know this shit. It's just intuitive. You just, I just get it. I just fucking get it. And I'm gonna read that sentence again after I read y'all comments. If finite causes equals finite effects. Facts. Infinite causes equals infinite effects. Sir Impeccable says, I'm telling you, bro, I feel the same way. That causes suffering. Cool TGS said, my new phrase is, I keep repeating is, there is only God. Not everything is God, because the word everything implies many separate things. No, there is only God, nothing else. There is only God. There's nothing else that fucking exists. So I'm like, I'm God, I'm God, I'm God. I've been like, duh, nigga. What else is there to be? There's nothing but that. Literally. Not even on some trying to sound cool. There's nothing else that exists. The own existence itself is God. Existence itself is the self. You, yourself, myself. There are no separate selves. There's just the self. That's why it's know the self. We thought it was know thyself, like know myself. That's some ego shit. It's know thyself, know the self. It's the self. Facts, cool TGS. That was powerful right there. Even the nothing and everything is the same, because they are the sum of they are the sum total of negation of everything. Damn, I tripped over my words right there. So let's read that again. Even the no thing or the nothing in everything is the same, because they are the sum total of the negation of everything. Paradoxical as language, but you can tell by the people that putting these comments here, they just fucking get it, bro. They just fucking get it. You just you just get this shit, or you don't until you do, and which is fine until you do. You see how I'm saying? Oh, you don't and you never will. No, that's not true. That's fact. I mean, that's false. You will get this shit because you are this shit. Ain't nothing special about nobody in this chat in the sense of they are something that someone else is not. Everybody in this chat that's saying this shit is the same thing you are. You need to understand that. Ain't nobody superior over no goddamn body. So y'all need to stop that bullshit out there. The way y'all be talking, the way that we all talk coming into this shit, thinking melanin is goddamn superior than everything and everybody. Goddamn melanin warriors. Goddamn melanin worshippers. Let's see. So he just explained why, you know what I'm saying, I had been feeling it, which I already understood before we got to this chapter, but he put it in a perfect sentence, right? That when the soul has realized that everything is full of the Lord of Brahman, it would not care whether it goes to heaven or hell or anything else, whether it is born again on this earth or in heaven. These things have ceased to have meaning for that soul, because every place is the same. Every place is the temple of the Lord. Every place has become holy, and the presence of the Lord is that all. I mean, in the presence of the Lord is all that is seen in heaven or hell or anywhere else, neither good nor bad, neither life nor death. Only the one infinite Brahman exists. God damn. If that shit didn't hit you, maybe it will another lifetime. Because god damn. What is all this? Reincarnation, hell, death? What? Trav has sent me some shit talking about death. Have you ever died? Nigga, no. Have you had, in your personal experience, have you had death? What do you know about death? The body does. But have you as a self ever died? No. Death is an illusion. You're not dying. You can't die. There is no death for the self. Death for the ego. Death for the body. Yeah. Everything that has form and function. Yeah. Of course. Melanin ain't gonna save your ass. Shout out to the motherfucking goat of this shit, man. Motherfucking panic, dog. Long live the pan, man. Pimpin' won't eat will. Talk that sass, nigga. Bro, that's my nigga, bro. That was my nigga, bro. That was my motherfucking nigga. I'm just on a nigga got to goddamn crack some jokes in front of him with that nigga, bro. 'Cause that nigga was a real cool ass nigga. And I know we just talking about personality now, but like real shit though. That nigga helped pull some niggas out the motherfucking dumps. For real, bro. You see, in so many words. Never born, never died. Death for matter. Constant change. Facts. Facts. I will be posting this on my social media. That statement, that paragraph right there. According to Vedanta, when a man has arrived at that perception, he has become free. Not by my perception. I didn't say that shit. But according to Vedanta, when a man has arrived at that perception, he has become free. And he is the only man who is fit to live in this world. Damn. Others are not. The man who sees evil, how can he live in this world? His life is a mass of misery. Oh my God, man. Dude is dropping fucking gems. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna use my highlighter. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. They say that's the only man fit to live in this world. Think about if everybody had knowledge of self, bro. This shit will literally turn into heaven, bro. This shit will literally turn into the heaven that everybody else be talking about. The man who sees evil, how can he live in this world? His life is a mass of misery. The man who sees dangers, his life is a misery. The man who sees death, his life is a misery. That man alone can live in this world. He can alone say, I enjoy this life and I am happy in this life. Who says that? Who can say that? Who's happy in his life? He who has seen the truth, and truth exists in everything. That man, that's him. That's who you should be identifying as. You want to identify as something? Identify as that, buddies. All right. By the by, I may tell you that the idea of hell does not occur anywhere in the Vedas. It comes with the Purunas much later. The worst punishment, according to the Vedas, is coming back to earth, having another life in this world. From the very first, we see the thought is making an impersonal turn. The ideas of punishment and reward are very material, and they are constant only with the idea of a personal God who loves one and hates another, just as we do. Huh. So you know that's fucking humans coming up with that concept of God destroying these other people because they didn't listen to God, and that's human beings coming. Why would God do that? God created every motherfucking thing. And remember we read Isaiah 45? God says, I do all of these things. I create good and evil. So who the fuck could God be mad at and punish? That's human beings. That's human beings, bro. That's human beings doing that. Not the ultimate formless God. That's human beings coming up with that shit. God who loves one and hates another just as we do. Punishment and reward are admissible only with the existence of such a God. They had such a God in the Smiktas, and they were fine. And there we find the idea of fear entering. The fear entering. So in the Smiths is where we find the idea of fear entering. But as soon as we come to the Upanishads, the idea of fear vanishes. The idea of impersonal takes its place. Do you hear that? This is why I fuck with the Upanishads. They're not making it a personal thing. God is going to get you because you ain't doing the right thing, you sinner. They take it out of the personal. That's why I said stop taking shit so personal. You can easily do that by just practicing the practice of observation. Observe yourself, observe your body, observe your emotions just like you watch a movie. And gradually you will stop taking shit so personal. Me and my girl had a big, I wouldn't even say disagreement or argument, but it was just like we just wasn't aligning on something. And in that moment, it was kind of hard to be. I was trying my best, and there was points where I was in observer mode, but I had to take a couple hours of break from talking. And once we did that, I went into observer mode and watched the whole thing over again. Came back totally new perspective. And I seen that I was within my ego and the way that I was moving. So was she. But we found out and came to a middle point. What's fucking better than that in a fucking relationship? Woo! Beautiful. Stop taking shit so fucking personal. Nickel. Where we at? It's naturally the hardest thing for a man to do to understand this idea of the impersonal. See what I'm saying? I just said it. It's naturally the hardest thing for a man to understand this idea of the impersonal. For he is always clinging to the personal. Even people who are considered great thinkers get disgusted at the idea of the impersonal God. But to me, it seems absurd to think of God as he were an embodied man. Which is the higher idea? A living God or a dead God? A God whom nobody sees, nobody knows, or a God known? Damn, he talking that shit. The impersonal God is a living God, a principle. That's why we pushing cosmic P, right? This is the principle that I keep talking about, standing on. The impersonal God is a living God, a principle. And when I made a tweet the other day, what I said, what did I say? Spiritual practice is not needed when you know the principle and stand on it. All these rituals, all this and that is not needed when you know the principle and you stand on it. What does he just say here? The impersonal God is a living God, a principle. When you know the principle and stand on it, you ain't got to keep on checking and see if this is, oh, am I doing spiritual shit now? Or am I doing worldly shit? Am I doing worldly shit or doing spiritual shit? Oh, I need to do my spiritual shit later on the day. Then right now I do some worldly shit. No, motherfucker, it's all that. Even the worldly shit you doing is standing in is within you can do it standing within the principle. The non-dual path sets you for a path of this, where you don't have to keep battling back and forth between your mind trying to figure out if you in violation, nigga. What's better? I ain't found no spiritual system better or no spiritual thought that's better that leads you back to the one that doesn't make, oh, this is wrong and stay away from it. Oh, this is right and get closer to it. All of this shit is right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me goddamn do this. Let's get to it. The difference between the personal and impersonal God is this: the personal God is only a man, whereas the impersonal is an angel, man, animal, and yet something more. Do you hear that? The personal God is only a man. I gotta highlight that. The personal God is only a man, whereas the impersonal angel, man, animal, and yet is a man, angel, and animal, and yet something more, which we cannot see because the impersonality includes all personalities. Because the impersonality in the because impersonality includes all personalities, is the sum total of everything in the universe. Something like what Zero was saying earlier, and infinitely more Hold up, what the fuck? Because impersonality includes all personalities, is the sum total of everything in the universe, and infinitely more besides. As the one fire coming into the world manifests itself in so many forms, and yet is infinitely more besides. Even so is the impersonal. That sentence just fucked me up because I don't know what he means, and yet it's infinitely more besides. Maybe that's just a way that they talked back then. We're gonna read that sentence one more time, and I'll check y'all comments in a minute. Because the impersonality includes all personality. It is the sum total of everything in the universe, and infinitely more besides. Quotation marks. As the one fire coming into the world manifests itself in so many forms, and yet is infinitely more besides. In quotation marks. Even so is the impersonal. I get what it's saying, but like when you say more besides, more besides what we just said it was. It's infinitely more beside everything that we just said. So I get it, but it's a weird way to write a sentence. But this is 1896. We want to worship a living God. I have not seen anything but God all my life, nor have you. To see this chair, you must first see God, and then the chair. In and through him, he is everywhere as the I am. The moment you feel I am, you are conscious of existence. Where shall we find God if not we see him in our own hearts and in every living being? Thou art the man. Thou art the woman. Thou art the girl. Thou art the boy. Thou art the old man tottering with a stick. Thou art the young man walking in the pride of his strength. Thou art all that all that exists. A wonderful living God who is the only fact in the universe. This seems to many to be a terrible contradiction of the traditional God who lives beyond a veil somewhere and whom nobody ever sees. The priests only give us an assurance that if we follow them, listen to their admonitions, oh my God, and walk in the way they mark out for us, then when we die, they will give us a passport to enable us to see the face of God. What are all of these ideas of heaven but simply inventions of the nonsensical priestcraft? Of course, the idea of the impersonal is very destructive. It takes away all trade from the priests, churches, and temples. They won't like that type shit. It takes it away all from the preachers and churches and temples. In India, there is a famine now, but there are temples in each one of them. There are Jews worth a king's ransom. If the priests taught this idea of the impersonal to the people, their occupation would be gone. Yet we have to teach it unselfishly, without priestcraft. You are a God, and so am I. Who obeys whom? Who worships whom? You are the highest temple of God. I would rather worship you than any temple, image, or Bible. Yeah, nigga. Yeah, I would rather worship you, motherfuckers. I would rather worship you than any temple, image, or Bible. Why are some people's thoughts so full of contradictions? They say that they are hard headed, practical men. Very good. But what is more practical than worshiping you? I see you, feel you, and I know you are God. The Mohammedan says there is no God but Allah. Vedanta says there is no thing that is not God. That boy talking that shit to them too. The Mohammedan says there is no God but Allah. Vedanta says there is nothing that is not God. It may frighten many of you. It may frighten many of you, but you will understand it by degrees. The living God is within you, and yet you are building churches and temples and believing all sorts of imaginary nonsense. The only God to worship is the man, is the human soul in the human body. Of course, all animals are temples too, but the man is the highest, the greatest of all temples. If I cannot worship in that, no other temple will be of any advantage. The moment I have realized God sitting, the moment I have realized God sitting in the temple of every human body, the moment I stand in reverence before every human being and I see God in him, that moment I am free from bondage. Everything that binds me vanishes and I am free. Nigga, dude is talking that shit. See, Vivekananda build up. It start off slow. The way he talk, bro, he build up. It start off slow. Then he get to dropping that shit on their ass. I want to be a good speaker like him one day. Let's see what else everybody else talking about in here. Even when people do fuck shit, I guess that's perfect. LOL. I see it doesn't bother none. I see it doesn't bother me none. I just observe it. Facts. I guess the concept of hell came later because they needed something extreme because people weren't automatically doing good effortlessly. Change of yugas. That makes sense. That makes sense. Or those people who had this knowledge seeing that they could goddamn be greedy with some shit and come up with some shit to control people to move in their favor, like a political move type shit, right? I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, Coop TGS. I'm saying I believe both can be right at the same goddamn time. Real shit. Bro, I grew up Jehovah Witness, and the main goal is to return to earth. They call it paradise. Damn. For real? I did not know that, bro. I did not know that. It don't. God damn. Huh? That I did not know. And me not liking this fact that I'm gotta blow my nose. Damn, Cosmic Puzzle Piece. I really didn't know that, bro. I really didn't know that shit. I get to the point where, damn. I get to the point where I understand if something make you think something is separate, there is an illusion. Got you. Yes, yes. Damn, that's right. Because this Brahman thing is pure. This consciousness thing is pure intuition. It passes through the mind as pure intuition. Once you got to think, that's when you know duality is there. Which we can't ignore duality because this place is based on it. But we can shift our perspective to see the non-duality of all of this, and that's the transformation that needs to be done. What work? What ritual? How long do you gotta fucking meditate? You listen to the words. You sit with the words that you are hearing here on this YouTube or anywhere else that's pushing this type of shit. Listen, contemplate. Huh, okay. Come back and test it out in the world. See it to be true. I have. I'm all the convinced I can ever be convinced. Cosmic Puzzle Piece is the P. Cool TGS said if I was an artist, I'd be shouting, Amen. Hey man, we're gonna have to have y'all. Hey, okay, so I'm letting y'all know this now. Okay, it probably won't be no time soon, like within the next 2 weeks, because the next 2 weeks I'm going out of town for my birthday. You know, the, the day that this body and this mind was birthed into this reality was July 17th. So July 17th, I'll be out of town for a couple weeks. Not a couple weeks. Damn, I wish. A couple days. I ain't got the money ain't circulating like that yet to where I can go out of town for a couple weeks. But I'll be out of town for a couple days for a week. It's good enough for a nigga to do that. So I am gonna have the live stream where I want people like Coop, I want people like Cosmic Puzzle Piece, Zero, Curve, goddamn it, Sir Impeccable, my nigga Don Tree, God damn it, my other homie from Cali, like Trav, Sunshine Chick, Hassad, like as many people as I can get on that live stream. I want everybody we just gonna come and we just gonna talk, man. We just gonna talk. I set the tone. Damn, Zero. I ain't know you was a motherfucking cancer too. Okay. That your body is incarnated as a cancerian figure. Nigga want to get real deep with it. But yeah, I wanna have it. So it may be after the birthday. Yeah, maybe after the birthday. Cause I still got a lot of shit going on within these next 2 weeks. That's why we didn't do occult Sunday service last Sunday. And we might not do it next Sunday. It might be in the middle of the week again. We'll see. Don't count it out. Still be looking out for it. But if not, goddamn it, you know it's still coming. It's just gonna be during the week. So, all right, y'all. Let's see how many pages we got left. Oh, but we got some pages, boy. Yeah, we gotta go. Come on. Because I'm not redoing this same shit. This is the most practical of all worship. It has nothing to do in speculation. It frightens many. They say it is not right. They go on theorizing about old ideas to them by their grandfathers, that a God somewhere in heaven had told someone that he was God. Since that time, we have only had theories. This is practicality according to them. And our ideas are impractical. No doubt. Vedanta says each one must have its own path. Do you hear that? Each one. That's why I say, listen, this non-dualism is not for everybody, bro. It's not. Some people need a lot of shit to attach the mind to, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing. Listen to me. There's nothing wrong with that. Because I use it too, but I ultimately know, as you see here, I ultimately know there's nothing wrong with using a personal symbol. But like, man, try this. Try to get if you're working with gods and goddesses and spirits, try to get it down to one. See, can you just get it down to one? That motherfucker can do everything I needed to do as far as whatever object I set out for it to accomplish and to use it for. It can do everything I need to do. I don't need 35 goddamn entities to work with because they all come from the one formless. So it's all going back to the same thing. It all is the same thing. See if you can work with one personal God. Because his OG did, Swami Vivekananda's OG did. He was a Shakti worshiper. His personal God was Shakti. Or was it Kali? Shakti or Kali. Either one. But pure non-dual. Pure nothing but all is Brahman. All is an illusion. Except for Brahman. Brahman is the only thing. But was a pure devotee to Shakti. So it's possible you can do it, but like, why have so much and so much shit to memorize and so much shit to do and so much shit? The mind is already okay, Zero said Kali worship, but that's right. So yeah, because he called her the great mother. Okay, so the mind is already tamasic, not tamasic, but you got Rajistic, which means the mind already moves so goddamn much. Why have more shit? That's what I'm saying. This is why I see why the non-dual shit can work for people. Because it can be simple. Difficult, but simple. You don't have to remember 30,000 goddamn steps and to turn to the east and to light the candle to the west and the exact words to say or you fuck up the ritual. This shit is so simple. Why not? If it's not for you, I get it. I'm not dissing. What I'm saying, this works perfect for me. For a nigga, goddamn it, who had a mind like, woo. Simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple and practical. Right, Zero. Right. No doubt, Vedanta says each must have its own path, but the path is not the goal. Ain't that some shit I've been saying for a while? The path is not the goal. The worship of a God in heaven and all of these things are not bad, but they are only steps towards the truth. That's what I've been saying about this non-dual shit. All of these paths over lifetimes, you went through so many spiritual systems. You probably been Muslim, Hindu, Mohammedan, Jewish. You probably been EFI. You probably been the Richcraft shit, the all that shit. E5, you probably been all of that shit. All of that shit to lead you to this point to hearing the truth about knowledge of the self. The worship of God in heaven and all of these things are not bad, but they are only steps towards the truth and not the truth itself. They are good and beautiful, and some wonderful ideas are there. But Vedanta says, at every point, my friend, whom you are worshiping as unknown, I worship him as you. Whom you are worshiping as unknown and are seeking throughout the universe has been with you all the time. You are living through him, and he is the eternal witness of the universe. He whom all the Vedas worship, nay more. He who is always present in the eternal I, not the ego I, who is always present in the eternal I. He existing, the whole universe exists. He is the light of the universe. If this eye were not in you, you would not see the sun. Everything would be a mass of darkness. He is shining. You see the world. One objection is generally raised, one objection is generally raised, and it is this: that this may lead to a tremendous amount of difficulty. You see how simple it is, but how difficult it is. Jay Zen, peace, peace. Love yourself for you, or that and so much more. Love yourself, you and you are that and so much more. Right. He is shining within you. You see the world. One objection is generally raised, and it is this: that this may lead to a tremendous amount of difficulty. Every one of us would think, I am God, and whatever I do or think must be good, for God can do no evil. In the first place, even taking this danger of misinterpretation for granted, can it be proved that on the other side, the same danger does not exist? The same danger exists. Even when people think they're not God, the same dangers exist. People still unconsensually do things to kids and women and men. People still kill, people still murder. So what's the difference? You see what I'm saying? What's the difference if everybody starts saying and understanding that they are God? Men have been worshiping a God in heaven separate from them and of whom they are much afraid. They have been born shaking with fear, and all their life they will go on shaking. Has the world been made much better by this? Those who have understood and worship a personal God, and those who have understood and worship the impersonal God, which of these have been the great workers of the world? Which of them? Which one of them have been the great workers of the world? On which side has been the gigantic work? Okay, hold up. On which side have the gigantic workers gigantic moral powers? What? On which side have the on which side have been the gigantic workers gigantic moral powers? Certainly on the side of the impersonal. How can you expect mortality or morality to be developed through fear? It can never be. When one sees another, when one hears another, that is Maya. When one does not see another, when one does not hear another, when everything has become the Atman, who sees whom? Who perceives whom? It is all he and all I at the same time. The soul has become pure. Then and then alone do we understand what love is. Then and then alone do we understand what love is. When you see no separateness. Come on, man. It is all he and all I at the same time. The soul has become pure. Then and then alone do we understand what love is. Love cannot come through fear. It is basis, its basis is freedom. When we really begin to love the world, then we understand what is meant by the brotherhood of mankind and not before. I don't know about y'all, but this shit is fucking fire. I don't know. Hopefully y'all hitting the like button. Are y'all even hitting the goddamn like button? What the fuck? Y'all ain't hitting the like button, man. Hold up. Blow my nose. You motherfuckers ain't been hitting the like button. I can't see it, but I just feel like y'all ain't been hitting the goddamn like button. Hit the like button. Life everlasting. God is love and is source of everything. No more separation. And that's all I'm saying, y'all, bro. I see the real deal. I see the real deal benefit of non-dualism. I was already walking that path, just didn't know there was anything like that that talked about it. Because everything from all occultism talks about this dual aspect. Everything occult that I've learned always talked about this dual aspect. Will let you know even occultism in its name, form, and function is some new age shit. Not really, but yeah, it is. Sunshine Chick said, please be kind and hit the like button. Please be kind and hit the like button. Oh, this fucking water good as hell when it's fucking cold. Fuck you, drink warm water. Fuck you, room temperature water. I mean, I do, but fuck you, room temperature water. So it is not right to say the idea of the impersonal will lead to tremendous amount of evil in the world, as if the other doctrine never lent itself to works of evil, as if it did not lead to sectarianism, deluging the world with blood and causing men to tear each other to pieces. My God is the greatest God. If anyone disagrees, let's decide it by a free fight. Have that not went on long enough? That is the outcome of dualism, niggas. That's the outcome of dualism. That's it. My God. Okay. As if the other doctrine never lent itself to the other works of evil, as if it did not lead to sectarianism, deluging the world with blood and causing men to tear each other to pieces. My God is the greatest God. If anyone disagrees, let's decide about a free fight. That is the outcome of dualism all over the world. That's what dualism gets you. So pay attention. If you're fucking with a dualism system, of course you're gonna sit here and complain and call everybody evil. Of course you're gonna sit here and complain about men and women. Of course you're gonna complain about Donald motherfucking Trump. Of course you are. Come out into the broad. Open the light of the day. Come out from the little narrow paths, niggas. For how can the infinite soul content? Hold up. For how can the infinite soul rest content to live and die in small ruts? Come out of the universe of light. Come out into the universe of light. Everything in the universe is yours. Stretch out your arms and embrace it with love. If you ever felt you wanted to do that, you have felt God. That's why I started a fucking YouTube channel. I love you motherfucker, bro. I love y'all. And never met you. Ain't that some shit? You remember the passage in the sermon of Buddha, right? How he sent a thought of love towards the south, the north, the east, and the west, above and below, until the whole universe was filled with his love. So grand, great, and infinite. When you have that feeling, you have true personality. For the whole universe is one person. Let the little things go. Give up the small for the infinite. Give up the small enjoyment for the infinite bliss. It is all yours. For the impersonal includes the personal. So God is personal and impersonal at the same time. You hear that paradox? God is impersonal and personal at the same time. So God is impersonal and personal at the same time. And man, the infinite, impersonal, man is manifesting himself as a person. We, the infinite, have limited ourselves, as it were, into small parts. You have limited yourself. You have limited yourself. Not no white man, not no goddamn government, not none of that. You have done it yourself into small parts. Vedanta says that infinity is our true nature. It will never vanish. It will abide forever. But we limit ourselves by our karma, which, like a chain around our necks, has dragged us into this limitation. And what is he saying? Break that chain and be free. Trample law under your feet. No law can bind man's true nature, no destiny, and no fate. How can there be law in infinity? Yeah, nigga, I am freeze. I'm looking at y'all ass. How can there be law in infinity? What law? Because law itself is a limitation. Law within itself, the very meaning of law is setting limitations. How can there be law in infinity? Freedom is its watchword. Freedom is its nature, its birthright. Be free and then have any number of personalities you like. Yeah, nigga. When I'm outside talking to so and so, man, nigga, half of the time I be on here talking and reading different than how I talk on an everyday basis. I got plenty of these motherfuckers. Cause I'm like water, nigga. I'm adaptable. I'm adaptable. This is my first time reading out loud, nigga, since they made me do it in elementary, nigga. Yeah, adaptable. Then we shall play like the actor who comes upon the stage and plays the part of a beggar. Do you hear that? Contrast him with the actual beggar walking up in the streets. The scene is perhaps the same in both cases. The words are perhaps the same, but yet, what a difference. The one enjoys his beggary, while the other is suffering misery from it. And what makes this difference? The one is free and the other is bound. The actor knows that his beggary is not true, but the man he has assumed it for the play, while the real beggar thinks that it is his own natural state and he is to bear it whether he will or not, for this is the law. Can you play the role of the beggar? Can you play the role of the nigga who puts his cash app up here, $ chosen 123? Can you play the beggar? Because it's all a role. So when you see a beggar out there on a road, on the side of the road, he's ultimately playing a part, but he don't know it. he thinks he's really suffering and really poor. He's really poor. Yeah, I gotta take me that vitamin C, my boy. Ooh wee. I ain't trying to wake up feeling like this in the morning, my boy. So long as we have no knowledge of our real nature, we are beggars. Pushing through it, y'all. Pushing through it. What is he saying here? So long as we have no knowledge of our true nature, we are beggars. So that's all you rich niggas and rich bitches. Your super spiritual niggas that don't have knowledge of the self. They all beggars. They beggars. Yes, they is. So long as we have no knowledge of our real true nature, we are beggars. Joasted about by every force in nature and made slaves of by everything in nature. You slave to the elementals, you slave to your thoughts, you slave to your fears, you slave to your job, you slave to your goddamn relationships, you slave to the motherfucker who just swerved in front of you in traffic that just made you mad and go the fuck off. We cry all over the world for help, but help never comes to us. We cry to imaginary beings, and yet it never comes. But still, we hope help will come, and thus in weeping, wailing, and hoping, this life is past, and the same play goes on and on. Be free, hope for nothing from anyone. I am sure if you look back upon your lives, you will find that you were always vainly trying to get help from others, which never came. All the help, God damn, all the help that ever came was within yourselves. Man, come on, bro. All the help that ever came was from within yourselves. You had the fruits of only of what you yourselves work for, and yet you were strangely hoping all the time from help from others. Y'all gotta give me another second. My bad, y'all. I don't know where the fuck that shit coming from. But you hear what he said, right? All this time we was looking for help, and all the help that ever came was from within ourselves. You had the fruits only of what you yourselves work for, and yet you were strangely hoping all the time from help from others. What is a guru doing? A guru, you think he's helping you, but he's not doing nothing but sending you to the place to help yourself. What do we get with the story where a dude wanted to be a Brahmin, and the guru gave him some horses and sent his ass home? Didn't teach him shit. And he went out there and got the same information by just being himself. And came back to the guru and still asked the guru for the information. And the guru gave him the same shit he just learned. It's always you. Whether you find out any YouTube channel or anybody's preaching, teaching, and speaking, it's always going to be you. It's always going to be you. So nobody's helping you really, but the self, because everybody is yourself. You see what I'm saying? Everybody is the self. Niggas, let's go. We literally got 3 pages though. Two. Yeah. We got 3 pages left, y'all. Depending on how I'm feeling, we may do a Q&A. A rich man's parlor is always full, but if you notice, you do not find the same people there. The visitors are always hoping that they will get something from the wealthy man, but they never do. So are our lives spent in hoping, 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 to which there is no end. Give up hope, says Vedanta. Also says Minosis. Give up hope, says Vedanta. Why should you hope? You have everything. Nay, you are everything. Nah, not that you have everything. You are everything. What are you hoping for? If a king goes mad and runs about trying to find the king of his country, he will never find him because he is the king himself. Highlight. What is it? If the king goes mad and runs about trying to find the king of his country, he will never find him because he is the king himself. He may go through every village and city in his own town, seeking in every house, weeping and wailing, but he will never find him because he is the king himself. It is better that we know we are God and give up this fool search after him. Knowing we are God, we become happy and contented. I don't see nothing in the chat. This must not be speaking to y'all. It must just be for me. Fuck it. Give up all these mad pursuits, then play your part in the universe as an actor on the stage. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Give up all these mad pursuits and then play your part in the universe as an actor on the stage. This shit is a stage. I know what it is. I'm not so attached to all this other shit that I used to want to be. Now I'm gonna just be, god damn it. And I'll never be broke money wise. I just could never be. All that other shit happening when a motherfucker don't know who the fuck they is. Because think about it. Every time you ever came into some very significant amounts of money, you just happen to be in the right place at the right motherfucking time. Every time. Every fucking time. At least for me. And all the times that I worked so hard to get all the money, work so hard, with so many people like, oh, let me get some, oh, let me get some. So many bills popped up, so much this popped up, so much this popped up, so much this popped up. Like, god damn. Peak that cycle. I ain't gonna go too deep into that. Give up all these mad pursuits, then play your part in the universe as an actor on stage. The whole scene will change. And instead of an eternal prison, the world would appear as a playground instead of a land of competition. It would be a land of bliss where perpetual spring exists. Flowers bloom and butterflies flit about. You can make this a prison or you can make this a playground and a stage. Your choice. The very world which formerly was a hell will be a heaven. To the eyes of the bound, it is a tremendous place of torment. But to the eyes of the free, it is quite otherwise. This very life is the universal life. Heavens and all places are here. All the gods are here. The so-called prototypes of man. The gods did not create man after their image, but man created the gods. Uh-oh. I mean, we've been saying that. The God created the man, or man created gods. Man created the gods. And I've been leaning on that for a while, at least as long as I've been into occultism, 13 years now. And here are the prototypes. Here is Indriya. Here is Varuna. And all the gods of the universe. We have been projecting our little doubles And we are the originals of these gods. We are the real, the only gods to be worshipped. This is the view of Vedanta. This is the practicality. How is this practical? You're getting it. When we have become free, we need not go crazy and give up society and rush off to die in the forest or a cave. Do you hear that? That's not your answer. When we have become free, we need not to go crazy and give up society and rush off into the forest or in a cave or off grid. Do what fuck floats your boat, but you don't have to. And thinking that's gonna give you freedom. Because guess what you're gonna find out when you get there? You're still gonna have the same mind. You cannot escape your mind. That's what you gotta deal with, nigga. Change your perspective. Non-duality. Non-duality. Try to figure out a gang sign for that. Non-dual, nigga. Well, cosmic P, but I can't throw up a P because I grew up around Pyrus. So if a nigga get throwing up a P, that means Pyru. And yeah, I ain't got time to be delving back into that life and trying to explain. No, this mean cosmic principle. No, nigga, whatever, nigga, little joke. Nigga, you know that shit mean Pyru. So can't throw up the P. We'll find something else. Ain't got time for that shit. We do not know the world yet. It is only through freedom that we shall see what it is and understand its nature. We shall see that this so-called law or fate or destiny touched only a small fraction of our nature. It was only one side. But on the other side, there was freedom all the time. We did not know this. And that is why we tried to save ourselves from evil by hiding our faces in the ground like hunted hares. Through delusion, we tried to forget our nature, and yet we could not. It was always calling to us. And all our search after God or the gods or external freedom was a search after our real nature. Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God, man. On the other side, it was, man, come on, bro. It's always freedom. We did not know this. And this is why we tried to by hiding our faces in the ground like hunted hares. So through delusion, we tried to forget our nature, and yet we could not. It is always calling to us. And our search after God or the gods or external freedom was a search after our real nature. Come on, man. We mistook the voice. We thought it came from the fire or from God or from the sun or moon or stars. But at last we found that this was from within ourselves. Within ourselves is the eternal voice speaking of eternal freedom. Its music is eternally going on. Part of this music of the soul has become the earth, the law, the universe. But it was always ours and always will be. In one word, the ideal of Vedanta is to know man as he really is. And this is its message. If you cannot worship your brother man, the manifested God, how can you worship God who is unmanifested? Do you not remember what the Bible? Bro, ain't this what I've been saying? I know this what he finna say. Niggas talking about they love God and God is all loving and they want God's grace and forgiveness. But you see your brother in every day. You show no love to your brother every day. You walk past them every day because they gay, because they fat, because they stink, probably. You know what I'm saying? Because they strung out on drugs. You see what I'm saying? Because they prostitutes and they real hoes. I met a prostitute the other day and we talked and she spoke of herself as a real hoe. And they some fake hoes out here. These fake hoes fucking up the game. I'm like, God damn, that's some wild shit. But guess what? I did not treat her no less. How your day going? You doing good? Okay, you know what I'm saying? Things get better. This and this, woo to woo, woo to woo. Stay safe out here. That's what you're doing. You living in this reality. Okay, keep something on you so you can stay protected. You know what I'm saying? So motherfucker don't find you dumped off in a ditch somewhere. Keep something on you so you can stay protected. Yeah, I will. And yeah. The same love. I don't give a fuck what route they choose. It's the same love. So what does that mean, nigga? Yeah, even for P Diddy with his freak ass. The same love gotta exist. And it's not hard for me. It's not a force for me. You don't have to force yourself. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's that type shit. All right. So he says, do you not remember what the Bible says? Let's see. If you cannot love your brother, there we go. If you cannot love your brother who you have seen, how can you love God whom you have not seen? You nasty, dirty motherfuckers. If you cannot see God in the human face, how can you see him in the clouds or the images made of dull, dead matter or in mere fictions of your brain? I gotta highlight all that. I shall call you religious from the day you begin to see God in men and women. Then you will understand what is meant by turning the left cheek to the man who strikes you on the right. When you see man as God, everything, even the tiger, will be welcome. Whatever comes to us is but the Lord, the eternal, the blessed one, appearing to us in various forms as our father and our mother and our friend as our child. They are our own soul playing with us. Come on, man. Even that ex that cheated on you and broke your heart. Yes. Yes. Even that baby daddy that fucked your sister. Yes. Even that baby daddy who had sex with you, made a kid, and left you. Yes. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know it is. I know it is. But this is the truth. Do without will with that information. As your human relationships can thus be made divine, so our relationship with God may take any of these forms. And we can look upon him as our father and mother, or friend, or beloved. Calling God mother is a higher ideal than calling God father. You hear that? Calling God mother is a higher ideal than calling God father. And to call him friend is still higher. But the highest is to regard him as the beloved. The culmination of all is to see no difference between lover and beloved. You may remember perhaps the old Persian story of how a lover came and knocked at the door of his beloved and was asked, "Who are you?" He answered, "It is I." And there was no response. A second time he came and exclaimed, "I am here," but the door was not open. The third time he came and the voice asked from inside, "Who is there?" He replied, "I am thyself, my beloved," and the door opened. So this is the relation between God and ourselves. He is in everything. He he is everything. Every man, every woman is the palpable, blissful, living God. Who says God is unknown? Who says he is to be searched after? Who have known God eternally? We have known God eternally. My bad. We have been living in him eternally. Everywhere he is eternally known, eternally worshiped. Then comes another idea that other forms of worship are not errors. This is one of the great points to be remembered. Those who worship God through ceremonial, right, rituals, and forms however cruel we may think them, are not in error. Right? That's what we said earlier. It's not wrong. Not saying that it's an error. I'm saying you don't have to. It is a journey from truth to truth, from lower truth to higher truth. Right? That's all we saying. It's a lower truth and a higher truth. Darkness means less light. Evil means less good. Impurity means less purity. It must always be borne in mind that we should see others with eyes of love, with sympathy, knowing that they are going along the same path we have trodden. If you are free, you must know. that all will be sooner or later. If you are free, you must know that all will be sooner or later. Remember when Bobby Hemmett said that? Ultimately, we all going to the same goddamn place. Ultimately, we going back to the same place. Hold up, y'all. God damn. So ultimately, we all going to the same goddamn place. Ultimately, if you are free, how can you see anyone else in bondage? If you are already pure, how do you see the impure? What for what is within is without. We cannot see impurity without having it inside ourselves. That's why I keep saying you not bound. You not trapped in the matrix. You not. And the only way I can say that with conviction if I don't see myself as trapped in the matrix. God damn it, I gotta talk to you like this. Stop, nigga. You doing it to yourself. Stop. Stop. Take the fucking chains off, bro. We cannot see impurity without having it within ourselves. This is one of the practical sides of Vedanta, and I hope that we should try to carry it into our lives. Our whole life here is an opportunity to carry this into practice. But our greatest gain is that we shall work with satisfaction and contentment instead of discontentment and dissatisfaction. For we know that truth is within us. We have it as our birthright, and we only and hold up, and we have only to manifest it and make it tangible. So we got Vedanta part 3 coming up, and part 4, I believe. So there we have it, y'all. We have continued. We have completed Practical Vedanta part 2. We have completed Practical Vedanta part 2. All right, we got 30 minutes. Anybody got any questions? What this has given you is reminding you that you the self and everyone else is the self, and there is no difference. You do not have to suffer. Everything is divine in its nature. Everyone who has wronged you, everyone has did you right. The grass, the dog, the shit, the piss, this vape. So what does that mean? I'm smoking Brahman, nigga. I'm vaping Brahman. Leave me the fuck alone. And ultimately, I stop worshiping Brahman in this. I stop worshiping myself in this form. I will. So when I hit the water, I'm sipping. I'm sipping self. Literally, non-dualism takes away you being in fear and living in it. Cause listen, if you pay attention, if you look at all humans, bro, all the fucking humans make all of our decisions based off of fear. But there's an undertone of love. You see what I'm saying? It's a more conditional love, but nothing nonetheless love. We move off of fucking fear, bro. And it's hard to get that shit across to people in general. It's hard, bro. But it can be done. I got faith in everybody because it's there. It's not you got to go out and get the love. It's already there. The moving in love and moving and knowing and moving in the faith of what you know, that you are this pure love, this pure unconditional love at that. So nobody has no questions, no comments. We can conclude this night. This is a cult Sunday service on a goddamn Wednesday. I'm waiting for anybody to drop something in the questions in the chat. I know sometimes, I mean, this chapter was straightforward. You know what I'm saying? Very straightforward. Very straightforward. Yep, don't look like no questions. Zero said that was amazing. Facts, bro. This shit has been amazing. I'm telling y'all. Wait until we get into this shit. Because what we read now is a very, very, very introductory text. And this is actually considered introductory text, but god damn it. Wait until we get into this. Just wait. Let's see if I got something I can read. Let's see if I got something I can pull from up out of here, y'all. Let's read something from this. All right. It says, I am, not that I illuminate my own being as an object. No, the self can never be an object of awareness because it is awareness itself. But it is self evident, it knows itself by identity. And it is important to note the difference between to shine and to illuminate. Shining doesn't need an object, but to illuminate indicates that there is an object being illuminated. And eternally I shine. Never is the next statement. Never am I beloved. Never am I not beloved. Remember what we just called beloved. That's the highest form to call God, right? But what I know doesn't end with I am. What I know doesn't end with the statement I am and I shine. Prior means dear or beloved, not beloved of another, but I am my own beloved. I am dear to myself. This isn't at first self evident, unlike the fact that I am and I shine. What about the suicide? Check this out, because this is what I had been saying for a while. Once you find out about the people who actually commit suicide, you thinking they are completely detached from this world and this life. When you think about people who commit suicide, they are actually the most attached people. They are so attached to their thoughts, their minds, and their emotions, and the way that people treat them, and the way that the world is going. They are the most attached people ever. So, what about the suicide? He who hates himself so much that he kills himself. Answer: no, the suicide doesn't hate the self, the real self. Rather, he hates the noise in his mind or the contradictions and conflicts in his life so much that he tries desperately, and the only way that he knows how to turn them off is to kill himself. When a person says, I hate myself, they mean aspects of their psychophysical person. The closer we come to the pure sense of I am, the more we feel the joy of the self, which is another way of saying the dearness of the self, until eventually we become Atmarama, one who delights in the self. We can only hate our limitations, which are mental and physical, and which are not our true identity, never our self, never the I am. This is the next book we're going to get into. Going to be powerful. As always, y'all remember, man, no obstacles will apprehend you. There are only no obstacles will apprehend you, right? As No Way Pop says over here, no obstacles will apprehend you, prosper over pain. Those obstacles are just opportunities for you to eventually to prosper over pain. And that prosperity is actually you coming into realization of the self. That's the real wealth. That's the real prosperity. To ever the delight to delight and live in happiness and freedom and joy and no fear. We out, man. Appreciate y'all. Stand on motherfucking principle, niggas. That's the standard operating procedure. Stand on purpose.